Yo, what up, everyone? It's Crypto Okie. Window. Let's go. All right, let's do a kind of a breakdown of the big three, starting with Ripple. We have RLUSD launching today, the stable coin for Ripple. Just one of many other good events that have come our way and that are coming our way. We still have the lawsuits going to be dropped. We still have Trump, taking office. So everything's just all systems go. The stablecoin coming out today. We'll see how that all plays out. I can't wait until it gets on like the bigger exchanges and to be able to use that. I usually, when I transfer Tether, I'm usually using Solana because it has the cheapest fees and fastest. So, but I would love to find a different one. Obviously, Ethereum is way too expensive and slow. So, yeah. And then Solana's, yeah, whatever. It's what's been. That's why I had such a good year last year. People are using it. So hopefully this brings people back to the Ripple ecosystem and whatnot. But irregardless, the chart looks absolutely amazing. That's probably one of the best months, top 5 months Ripple's ever had. Going back to its initiation. Here's a great month one. Here's 3 great months. And here's another great month. So just an absolutely beautiful month. And we're having another great month here halfway through. Looking at this again, it's huge that we've taken out the 2021 high and are building on that. So we'd love to see a close, above this $2 range. Seems likely, I guess, at this point. 15 days left seems likely. It will be our highest monthly close. It's kind of interesting. That close was what, 199? Close here was 195. Okay, so yeah. So this was our second highest last month, highest close. But this month will be the highest monthly close for XRP, I imagine. So if we look at something like this, we can also kind of, we have a big W pattern. We have double bottom, whatever you want to call it. So again, kind of a minimum target here. 185, which is, this is kind of my short term, like as in 1 to 2 month target is gonna be about 185. It's gonna be about 380, give or take, obviously. So that's the measured move there. I do think it'll be in the low $4. I don't think it's going to be above 5. I think it will take out this high. Maybe just a little, just to kind of get everybody excited, and then kind of come back for a little bit of a lower retest of some sort. Maybe holding the $2 range from this point on, which would be kind of pretty amazing. Yeah, this thing's just looking beautiful from a monthly view, and it's really, the move has just started. So, I mean, even if you consider this the move here, which this is when the SEC got involved in November 2020, and then December the SEC got involved, and it still had a pump because everything else was going up. So, I mean, that still had 5 months of upside. Here you had more in the first, the 2017 run. You had essentially, 9 months of upside. So we're just getting started, but I do expect an initial top to be coming in probably early 2025. At this point, that would make sense to me. Let's check out the weekly. Having a great week last week, retest, and then back up, closed, I would say above half of the previous candle. Got a higher high than last week, which is great. I do think this wants to kind of go sideways before breaking up. Anything could kind of happen. We're in that area where anything could happen. So nothing would surprise me too much. I think I would love for us to hold the one, this $2 range essentially. Getting back below it would, mean we're probably going a little lower before going higher, which would be fine. But I would like us to kind of create some sort of a flag and then go higher, maybe into January, February. Because again, Trump's taking office, the SEC, Gensler's out the 20th. They're going to come in. Whoever comes in is going to drop this lawsuit. I mean, the judge has already ruled, so it's an appeal. It just shows you how out of touch some of the people in our government are, and it really begs the question why they're like that. They really want absolute control. They don't want you to make money anyway, except the way they want you to, and then they want to control who can get jobs. So you got to opt out of the U.S. government, opt out of that liberal mindset. But we have, and we're benefiting greatly. That's what I love about crypto. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let's see what else we got. I mean, it's really all I got to say about the weekly here. Going into the daily. Great day today. Again, I like some sort of a pattern here to play out. I love that it touched here. Maybe we go, lower, kind of make some sort of a pattern this way. So yeah, I would like us to kind of, I'd love for us to just keep going up. That'd be great. And it could happen. We're in no man's land and we have the momentum to the upside. So it's very possible, but something that would, give us some legs and strength for further upside would be this kind of sideways action, something like this, coming back somehow, making some sort of a trend line here and then going higher. So coming back into this 225 range maybe, but it doesn't have to. It really doesn't have to. We touched the 20-day moving average, bounced off of it, not even close, almost touched it here, which was yesterday, and we're getting a good move here. I mean, this is going to be the second highest, possibly the second highest close in years on a daily. But, again, if we can kind of make some sort of pattern here and then break higher, that would be better. Doesn't have to happen, though. Does not have to happen. We're actually kind of... And again, my big target is in this 40 to 70, we'll call it $40 to $75 range, because if we get to, about let's just say 4150, and then we draw back 85 to 90%, 85% would put us at $6, well above the previous high, which would make sense. And about 50%, we could still fall 90% and not go below $4, which is what I'm anticipating from previous cryptos and previous bull runs, where they had the ones that had huge rises. Obviously, many fall 85 to 93%. That's very common. So, but they don't retrace into the previous kind of area. So that's why I think we could see these big numbers. Let's take $80. If we go down 90% here, we're at $7, which is about, which would be another 50% till it hit that $3.50 zone. So I really think we're going to hit one of those numbers, 40 to $75 is my big target. Not that far out. In 2025, possibly 2026, but again, I think this from, if we just start the clock last month, which is when I would start it, I thought it was going to start earlier. I thought it could, was going to start maybe even 6 months earlier, to be honest with you. It didn't, but we made that up all in 1 month, which was amazing. But, if we put like the previous bull run, 9 months puts us around August. So I think it will be the longer this time because the base is much bigger. So I think it might be, 11 or 12, could be more. But if we put it out to a year, we're talking about, next November, which would make sense. So again, I think next fall, early winter is where I'm leaning at the earliest late summer. So late summer to early winter is what I'm looking at for the top to come in on crypto. Let's look at, so if we just kind of run back down that, here's the monthly, weekly, again, looking great, looking strong. Eventually it will probably be touching this 20. Well, here it kind of got close, but we could be much higher before it touches the 20 week. That's good. That's got some strength to it. Daily, looking great. So yeah, that's what I got for XRP. Well, let's look at the order book. The order book, it's looking great right now. Not much selling. Yesterday we had that quick move. We got a lot of selling. Came back down earlier today. It was looking really nice, going into the 270 range. Obviously, we see some selling here. Had a little pullback, tested that initial pump, and it looks like we've gained a little momentum here heading into the end of day. Let's check out against Bitcoin. Even less selling, so liking that for sure. So yeah, XRP, great day, monumental day in the history of XRP with the real US dollar, because it's RLUSD. I think people are going to love it. I think people are going to want to hold it. I know Uphold is offering 5%. I mean, Coinbase offers 4.5%, I think, for their stable coin. So it's just a huge day. More people using our system. So I'm excited to use it. I don't anticipate it being anytime too soon for some of these other exchanges. But I'm excited about it. All right, let's go on to Stellar. Stellar's looking great as well, obviously. It's kind of got this pretty obvious little situation going on here at the kind of 53.7 range, 53.5 cent range, where whatever you want to call it. Never had a monthly close above this level, so it's got more work to do than XRP. Obviously, it's got to get above this 80 to $1 range, which is quite a move from here. That's another 75% to take out the 2021 high, and then another 100% to take out the all-time high, which I do think it will. I definitely think it will. I don't believe that will happen on this first pump. I mean, anything could happen, but this is a pretty obvious line here that we want to be closing above 54 cents. I like that this month is kind of hanging out at the top. We'll want to, assuming it holds this, we're halfway through, so a lot could happen. Next month, we'll want to hold this 35-cent range, or risk further downside, which could be kind of considerable. But I think it will catch legs. I don't even anticipate that being broken at this point, but it could. In this move, we put something like that, which actually that looks pretty beautiful. That looks beautiful. This ascending triangle. Hopefully we don't have any more touches here, but this move puts us what? It's a pretty beautiful 52.5 cents. So breaking above here. And these puts us at $1.06. So these are kind of the I should also say the like minimum targets, the minimum targets here with this measurement. Some people will do the percentage, which you can do, but I don't anticipate the percentages being like that. And this is just the initial target. So initial target, assuming we break 54 cents, which we could close higher than that this month. That's very possible. Um, I would be looking at about just over $1, which could also play out to our first target before a deeper, longer, I should say, longer correction, and then much more upside. So again, love that. And again, if we're thinking that this one's going to make a new all-time high and not retrace into this previous zone, that could put us at double-digit stellar. If it went to about $10 and pulled back 90 cents, that would be into the zone. So, I do think we will see double-digit stellar at some point, in about 8 months or so. So again, looking over here at the first bull run, 2017, it was about 9 months. So if we're on month 2, give or take, I'll say, if you want to say 6 months at minimum, puts us, summer. 9 if it's the same. I think it'll be longer, so August. So again, looking at late fall, early winter, for that to top out at possibly double digit, possibly double digit stellar, which would be fantastic. Weekly, see a deeper correction than Ripple, which is to be expected. So this one's going to kind of make a kind of a descending wedge, it looks like, before it wants to go higher. Inside candle week, it appears, and then we'll see. We'll go next week. But it started out really hot today. It's cooled off considerably, but I like it. Yeah, I think we're going to close somewhere below this today, below 45 cents, 46 cents. But eventually, I think we will break up higher out of here. So I'm expecting something like this. Something like this before breaking higher. Like a descending wedge type thing. Maybe even breaking down below this before going higher. Yeah, I like both Ripple and Stellar to kind of go sideways into January before ripping higher, forming a little bit, just getting a little bit more sideways action before going higher. I think will give us more legs to go higher. So that's what I'm looking at there. If we look at the order book on Stellar, let's check it out. Looking beautiful, just as always looks so beautiful. Seeing getting bought up on the dips, just always getting bought up on the dips. So I like what's happening with Stellar. Let's look at it against Bitcoin. A little more selling against Bitcoin, but nothing too concerning. I guess we could go back. Let's go back. Let's stay with XLM and let's kind of look at the Bitcoin XLM chart. Just a quick look. Obviously, we had that huge. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to just chill out here with Stellar. against Bitcoin. Um, I don't know when or if this will break. I think it will break to the upside, but if we get some sort of head and shoulders, this could be crazy. That would be kind of cool. Um, let's see how long this. I don't think it's going to take. That took about 40 weeks. So I could see something like that. With Bitcoin leading the pack in a way, continuing to appreciate, and then as it kind of stalls out at whatever price that might be, the alts having one last pump. So you could see Stellar be kind of creep up, make gains on Bitcoin over the next few months before getting one last blast off into some range over here. I doubt it takes out this high from 2021. I would be surprised. But some sort of big move against Bitcoin, another 80-90% from those highs would make sense to me, which could be, about a 200% move on Bitcoin. That's when it's like, we'll see how that all plays out. But obviously everything's looking great. Let's put in a moving average. See, yeah, here again, you have the 200 week. It broke it pretty considerably, and then it's back down below it, and it looks like we'll close below it this week as well. So, that's something to take into account. We're at these levels where I do think we'll have resistance against Bitcoin. So I don't know if it's, it doesn't have the obvious advantage here. So something to keep in mind. I'm always been more bullish on Ripple. But I just have a thing for Stellar, and they move together, so it's all good. So I just kind of, and I'm glad I did do that. And, but look at Ripple against Bitcoin, broke the 200, and it's actually sloping up. Gosh, it makes me so. This thing is a monster. This is when I got actually looking at this chart. This is the chart that black pilled me. It was way back in here. I'll leave that one. I saw this trends line. It was back in like September, October of 22. So that was 2 years ago. And this was, I think there were 17 touches in this trend line. 1, 2, 3. You could 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. 16, or there was, whatever. That's a ton. And it was, this trend line dates back. It had, this is in weeks. I'm not even going to be able to divide that much, but that's 5 years, a 5-year trend line that it broke out of. I did think we were going higher already. So I've kind of been incorrect in a certain sense. I thought, we broke it, maybe it's just inevitable, right? Here we hit the 200, we stayed below it. Here was the SEC, the win 2 summers ago now. Thought that was going to do it, right? And then this was miserable time where this was when November 23 to essentially this summer was when Bitcoin was kind of ripping higher and a lot of the other cryptos were going sideways. So that's pretty painful if you look at that. From the win of the case, if you don't even count that week to, the bottom 46 candles. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 out of 46 weeks were green against Bitcoin. So that was a brutal stretch That's why the real time was just right after Trump won. It was to get into Ripple. I mean, that was when the triangle broke as well. But we're at this level. I would love us to, again, continue sideways. I don't think this initial pump is going to allow us to break this level, this 0.00003 level. But this will break. I'm very confident in that, and we're going to see some high prices. It's going to get people scared that it will flip. People are going to. I 100% think it will flip Ethereum this cycle, and I think it. I don't think it can flip Bitcoin, but maybe it flips it for a day and just freaks people out, and then that's going to be the top. But I mean, above this 200-week moving average, the last time we were, again, that SEC case, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth week it was down below it already, right? Here we're in our third week and no signs of wanting to give back too much. So let's just, I think, again, all we want to do is just go sideways for a few more months, build up some strength, and then blast off. That's my hope here. And that trend line, believe it or not, it came into play again. I think you could kind of make it hit here. No, you couldn't really make it hit here. This drop, just because it would take out too many of them, but it touched again 2 more times, which is kind of interesting. And then we had this double bottom, bam. So I'm a huge bull of XRP. This is the number one crypto of this cycle in my mind, hands down. So that looks excellent. I don't really need to see XLM versus XRP. Again, just if you want to look at them together, this candle in November definitely surprised me. I think, again, there was maybe 2 days where Stellar went up 50% and XRP went sideways. But after that, it's been all XRP now for 4 weeks in a row. We're back at that level. So I think I don't know what will happen, to be honest, but we could go lower into this probably, I guess, at this point, since after that rejection. So again, I think, XRP's got to be the play at this point. But, if you're holding some Stellar, you're going to be rewarded with some scraps. No, it's a good play. It's a great play. All right, let's go into the third one. Let's go into my last kind of crypto that I'm rocking with this bull run, and that is Monero, the number one privacy token. So I think the narrative's great for this one as well. I'm not too much up to date with some of the stuff that's going on in this ecosystem, but as I've stated before, I love this breakout of this range. We haven't had a monthly close above $200 since May of 2022. 31, so almost 3 years now. And, we could easily close above 230 this month. And that's, that we're taking 4 years here. So that's where I anticipate us going. And then I really expect this thing to just absolutely skyrocket. Monero did have a higher all-time high in 2021 by a few dollars, it looks like. So if we look at something here, I expect us to come into this $400 range very, very, very soon, possibly this month, possibly next month, but I expect us to come into this range before it kind of goes sideways for a little bit, and to continue much, much higher. This kind of double bottom pattern could also have from top to bottom, 491. So, we're talking about in the thousands of dollar range, and I'm looking at about $4,000 is kind of my high target, with an initial target of around 1,000 after we get up to this $400-$500 range, which wouldn't be a bad time to take a little off the table. Because you could have three, it'll eventually break, but you could have, which I think we will, a little bit of a prolonged kind of sideways action before going higher. So Monero looks great. Let's look at the weekly. This is what makes me so excited here too. I've rarely seen these two candles ever beside each other. I mean, I really have not ever. Sometimes you see this wick candle that we had last week at the bottom, or maybe at the top of the reverse side of this. But we had a great week 2 weeks ago, and then last week we had a 30% drop before regaining nearly every penny of it. It almost was green. Where's the open? So opened at 222.77, went down to 152.63. That's like a $70 drop, and closed at 222.21. So it only lost 70 cents after going down $70. That's absolutely nuts. At its lowest, it was down 30.5%, and it ended up only closing 0.27%. That's like one of the most bullish things I've ever seen. I'm reading this as the most bullish 2 weeks possibly I've ever seen. And there is some frustration. I'll look into the order book here, but this is what I think will teleport north. I don't think anything is stopping us. Once we get any sort of green week, it's going to look like 2 weeks ago, but maybe twice as big. It's just going to be at $500. I just don't see these previous highs being any resistance, and I think we'll get into this $400 range just quickly. So I'm loving that. So the biggest frustration for me with Monero is the order book. It continues to look like shit, to be honest. Every time we're getting these breakouts, it's heavy buying is coming in. This was on the 16th yesterday. Again, it looks great, going up to approaching 230, and then down. We are making new highs. On the weekly, we're making new highs. On the daily, we're making new highs. And again, with some of these, the breakout has happened in my opinion. So it doesn't need to have a big pattern to go higher, but if it does, it could look something like this. And then, it could, come back down, retest this 180, 190 area, back up, and then breaking out into late towards the end of the month, which that's approaching. I mean, it's December 17th, so that is approaching fast. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, mostly because of the order book. The order book's just showing selling, and it has been respecting it. I think sometimes, I've seen on Bitcoin where it shows a lot of selling, and in a bull market, it'll just keep on going, and that'll be a good sign. But we haven't gotten that out of Monero. Every time, look at it. Initial high, just a little bit of selling, back down. Selling, back down. Getting higher, sold. Sold. So whenever this thing goes, it's just going to go. So we just got to get all this kind of little selling out of the way before this thing really takes off. Against Bitcoin, it's not as bad, but still you're seeing it. I'm frustratingly optimistic with Monero. It's pissing me off, is the truth. but I think that's a good thing. I'm not doing anything. I want to add so bad, but I'm not gonna because I'm in it. I'm fine. I'm not gonna worry here. This is the perpetual contract on Binance, which is not showing the selling. So Monero's a little tougher, and these are like kind of my fourth or fifth attribute to an asset. I don't place as much weight as I place on the moving averages and the candlesticks and the chart patterns. Those are, you know, the most important attributes to look at, in my opinion, and that I use, because these are just, if you want to, these are for scalping, taking little trades. I mean, sure, that's great if you want to sell when it gets, some red shows up every time, but I want the big guy. I want the big moves. So there's Monero, and I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Crypto out, Okie. Peace out. Lots.